Bite-Sized and Bossy, rising up the ranks, handing out encouragement, deposits in their banks. Inspiration coming at you like a river flowing. Women paving paths, look at them going. Bite-Sized and Bossy, rising up the ranks, handing out encouragement, deposits in their banks. Inspiration coming.
That right away. And there is something to be said of when people take a chance on you and they want to see you grow and develop. So I'm eternally grateful to not just Danny, but the entire QSR and FSR team for really just igniting that in me. I had that fire, but it kind of needed a match to light it. So I'm very, just grateful for the team for letting me come on and letting me grow and develop. I mean, Tammy, before the Women in Restaurant Leadership event, I was begging my professors to let me go. And imagine trying to explain this event to your college professors. I was in my very last semester of school, and they were like, I can't let you skip class. And I was like, well, the plane tickets, I'm leaving. Sorry. So it was just the craziest last semester of school ever.
I think that Satyne embodies bite-sized and bossy, like, to the nth degree. Honestly, I do.
I think the first thing the QSR and FSR team, we work remote. And so I was an intern for about almost, I want to say 9 months before I met the team in person. And nobody knew that I was so short. I mean, I'm under 5 feet. We're bite-sized and bossy. And I come, guns ablazing, walk into the room, and they're like, the whole
That's
team.
what I remembered. We were like, who
Yeah.
is this little firecracker?
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
which is so funny because I don't see myself that way. I mean, in my words, I'm like, I'm friends with everybody. Like, I do not see myself as a firecracker at all. But
Oh, well, you
you're in-
definitely are. And can we talk about, just for a hot second, uh, the best headshots I've ever seen of someone? Your photos,
for
like people embody, like they're like, we
I'm
want photo.
blushing.
How do you get photos like that? Like
Is
they
it
are,
AI?
I mean, you're already drop dead gorgeous, but how do you get these photos
I'm
that look like
blushing.
they're professional photos done by like a supermodel photographer?
Man, I gotta give the credit to Kara, the photographer. I mean, honestly, growing up, my mom was that type of mom, right? Where she'd be like, I was well trained. Let's put it that way. I was well trained for the photos. And my parents used to joke that I used to just cry as a baby and the camera would, shine on me. They'd be taking a picture at JC Penney's or something. And I'd be like, I was well trained.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you so much. That headshot studio at WIRL was amazing. It started off as this experiment. We are like, well, what if we
Is it
just
going to
put
be there
headshot?
this year?
Yes, it's coming back. It's gonna be bigger. Last year there was a line out the door and we
I'm
really
going to
want.
try and get a photo like you.
Yes, well, I'll be there. I'll help coach you guys. And maybe I'll take a new one, but that's hard to beat that first one.
So
Yeah,
let's
I
quickly
think
go ahead, Josie.
On Monday when several of us were on the World Happy Hour, the World Power Hour, the
Yeah,
marketing,
works too.
yeah, the marketing one, your headshot popped up and I took a screenshot of it and I sent it to Erin and I said, how do we look like this? We need to find out what her secret is. So thank you for sharing your
You
secret.
need a team of people. So I think the one you're talking about was my graduation photos.
Oh,
I had my best friend, she's all in one, right? You need a friend that's a photographer. You need a friend that'll curl your hair. You need a friend that'll put fake eyelashes on you. And I'm
I
sitting there.
need new friends.
Yes. So you need a team. And she was that person. Shout out to Sydney. She lives in Illinois. She flew down to Florida to curl my hair, put on my eyelashes, and take my graduation photos. So you need a friend like that. Takes a team.
that's awesome.
Tammy, will you fly to my
Absolutely.
house and put on my fake eyelashes
I
and
mean, I'm
curl my
gonna be
hair?
honest here, and we're gonna girl out for a minute. I just bought those magnetic lashes, and I
Yeah.
cannot figure out how to get them on for the life of me.
Oh, trust you. I've
my
never had
daughter has
lashes since that
They
day.
look, they're a pain in the
Eh.
ass.
Yeah, well, I don't think they work, so don't waste your money on them. But I thought also maybe I'm just old. So for the non-old people and all these people that keep hearing about WIRL, I have to tell you, I'm getting asked by a lot of folks like, "Hey, what is this? What's the difference between it and WFF?" And so I think it would be great for our audience, who we anticipate is probably a lot of ladies, to hear from the associate editor
Yeah.
what the event is for, about, who attends. Give us the down low.
Well, I'll give you the download. So we get this question a lot, actually, and the best way I can describe it is the energy feels different. The crazy thing is
Mm.
this entire platform, the World platform, happened organically. Danny has told the story a million times. I think I have too. And Tammy, I mean, you're a World OG. You've been here since the
OG.
beginning, probably since World was even a thing. So you've seen it kind of just this organic energy. It's kind of when I talk about the match and the light, it
Mhm.
just blew up. And it's really this spirit of authenticity. We really try to be a bridge or a connector between people in the industry, and we don't close any doors. So when I talk about women in restaurant leadership, it anybody can be a leader. You can be working at McDonald's right down the street, and or you could be a cashier, right? That you can be a leader. That definition is, you don't have to be an executive. We save a seat at the table for everybody. We are trying and encouraging to reach all aspects of the industry. And one of the other things that I've really, as the associate editor, I came on to sort of help with the year round content. So I've really tried to tell the stories of all women in the industry, whether they're in tech or they're on the operations side or the marketing side. So we're really trying to create not just an event, but a movement that does not, it's not the table's open for everyone. It's not just executives. It's very approachable. So I think, something that Danny brought me on is, like I said earlier, I want to be everyone's friend. I want to go out to these conferences. If this is your first conference, I want to be your buddy and let's go. Let's make it not intimidating. So I think when we talk about the difference between these very large, very sophisticated events and WIRL, we're authentic, we're approachable, and you still get that great leadership development. But leadership development doesn't have to be boring. So
Well,
that's
Completely agree. And so, just for the audience, are boys allowed?
yes, that's a great question.
ladies first. Ladies
Ladies
first.
first, but they
I
could
think
come, right? They
Nice.
could
yeah,
come if they would
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
to.
We're not here to say, can't come if you're a man. But I think last year out of
Mhm.
300 people, we had 296 women and 4 men. Let's keep it.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah. I
Wow.
mean, we love that we're
That's
lifting
incredible.
up women for sure. And I think I read this week that there's already almost that many people registered, and we're still a couple months out, right?
Yes, we are around 250 right now. My goal is to get to 300 by January 1st. So the initial event had 300 people that sold out, but this time last year we only had about 40 people registered for this event. Today, this year we have 250 almost. So
That's amazing.
it's
Wow,
some
that's
crazy
incredible.
statistic. I'm not great at math, ladies, but it's like 138%, I think, something like that. And that's really hard to wrap my head around, but I'm happy for every person that signs up. It comes through my email, and like it's a little party for me in my inbox. I'm
Let's
like,
get some brass tacks out of the way. What's the website? What's the dates? If people want to go, how do they go? Let's get that out of the
great
way.
question. So some housekeeping. So if you're interested in the event, definitely visit www.womenleadrestaurants.com. That'll give you the lowdown on everything, the event. There's a register button. It's going to be at the Grand Hyatt in Nashville next February. So February 19th and 20th, 2025. So that's the event. If you're interested in the content side of things, you can go to QSR.com or FSRmagazine.com. And if you scroll down on the homepage, we've got a whole column dedicated to it. And that's the same with our print version as well. That was something that from the beginning, I said, I want this to be in the print magazine. It is now there. And the biggest thing I would say for anyone looking for that year round content, the webinars, the podcasts, the power hours, definitely either connect with me on LinkedIn. That's just Satyne Doner, or the Women in Restaurant Leadership LinkedIn page. That's where you'll find all your event information and just weekly updates. I think we shared up to 3 digital stories this week, so it's every day that we're keeping that content engine alive.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let me just I want to kind of double down a little bit because I think over the last few years, and most definitely over the last year, we're really seeing a rise up of women in this industry, which
Yeah.
for me is really exciting. I've been, in and around the restaurant industry for 30 years, and from the restaurant side to the tech side, and it has been a male predominant industry. And it's so amazing to see all of these females who are getting promoted to CMO and CEO and COO. And they're obviously, a lot of them are very involved in WIRL. Very, we have a lot of women on the board there. Let's talk about, if you're just getting started, like, what is the benefit of somebody who is just coming into our industry? Maybe they're brand new to the industry, maybe they're on the brand side or the tech side. Like, what are the benefits of them getting involved in WIRL?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. And to your point, it has just been amazing to see the stories that have came up out of WIRL, whether you are brand president and you're looking to connect because it's really hard to make authentic connections when you are at that caliber, or
Mhm.
you are a single mother in Kansas and you're opening up your first franchise and you're looking to, make a life and provide for your family. I mean, I tell the stories of both. So if
Yeah.
you are beginner level or you're just starting this industry, I mean, admittedly, when I took this internship, I didn't know too much about this industry and it's huge. I mean, I'm learning every day. So credit to our amazing board that helps me learn and gives, they're my eyes and out into the industry. So for WIRL, getting that content, I feel as though it's very inspiring to hear, from such a wide range of female leaders, because leadership, again, it doesn't look like one certain thing. You can be a woman in this industry and leadership can look like so many different things no matter what level you're at, and we're here to share stories at all levels. So if I share a story and someone in, Idaho can look at this and say, I relate to that. I relate to that story. I relate to that feeling of imposter syndrome. And if this CEO feels it and I feel it, suddenly you don't feel less alone.
Right.
And I really want to drive that point. We're so separate but connected at the same time. And I want to bring people in this industry closer together. And one of the things that I experienced at the Women in Restaurant Leadership event this past February was you saw women of all ages come together and share tips and advice. It was an open forum concept. There was no holds barred, all ages, all experience levels, all here for the same thing. So I feel like we come back to that approachable piece, that's what we're getting out of WIRL. That spark of inspiration, that career development, a friend, a
Yeah.
connection, and
I
network.
think that's amazing. That's
Yep.
absolutely amazing. So, for many years, there actually, as women were trying to lift other women up, there was only one seat at the table. And so it actually created this competitiveness towards women where women felt
Mhm.
like, well, we have to fight each other for that seat at the table because they've only opened up one seat. And
Mhm.
Right.
that was a struggle. And so, what you're saying is, we're taking it a step further and we're saying there's plenty of seats.
We're making our own damn table, Aaron.
Right,
Correct. We're
we're
building our own
bringing the
table.
chairs. Okay, we're bringing our own chairs. It doesn't
Yep.
matter. We just wanna get rid of those feelings of competitiveness and
Yeah.
understand we're all fighting the same fight, no matter where
Right.
you.
If I could just impart some wisdom, never clean up an office after a meeting, never clean up the room.
Nope.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And let's just say, who does not want a trip to Nashville with all their favorite work girlfriends? What an
Right?
amazing town to host this
That is a
in.
trend I've noticed in the registrations this year versus last year is we're seeing entire teams,
Oh,
I
that's
think
great.
Love
somebody
that.
right now, Barcelona Wine Bar, shout out to Amy Home.
Oh, Amy.
Yes.
They're bringing the entire team, and I'm saying, "This is amazing."
But can
Just
we go
I love that.
dancing? I want dancing.
Oh,
Okay,
In
we
Nashville.
totally need to do
Nashville.
some line dancing. Line
Yes.
dancing in Nashville. Bring your cowboy boots.
Well,
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I remember Danny telling me in year one that they intentionally chose a Thursday so that gals could stay over the weekend in Nashville,
Yes.
Love it.
Oh,
if I remember. Um,
Amen.
smart.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
coming in on Tuesday, but heading home on Friday unless somebody, gives me a reason to stay longer.
Yeah, yeah. I
Hey,
mean,
you
same.
Tammy, we
never
can
Same girl,
always
same.
talk you into staying longer.
Satine, so you said you started as an intern, you moved up. When you were growing up, I can't imagine you were like, you know what I'm going to do when I grow up? I'm going to be the associate editor in the restaurant
I
space, lifting up
know.
women. So, like, What was that dream that you had? And then how did this evolve into this?
Yeah, that's such a great question, Erin. I mean, honestly, when I was younger, I was very heavily involved in writing. It was just more of a passion for me. It's something that I did creatively. I think in my Google Drive, I have a random 50,000 word like story that I tried to write and it's unfinished, probably until I die. It'll be unfinished. So, I went through the thing. I thought I wanted to be a Broadway star when I was in middle school. Not
Same.
happy, right? I think we all did. And I got hit with that reality check from my parents, and they were like, "You can't go to school for English. It doesn't make any money. You're not going to be an author. Not that you can't, but that's just reality. You're not going to make an honest living doing that." So I ended up going to college for business just because it was easy, and I told myself, I want to be a leader.
Mm.
Hey, had no idea what that meant, okay? An 18-year-old saying they were gonna be a leader. No clue, I just had that feeling that I loved people, and I loved, working as a team and being on that team, and I think it was just a gut feeling, and then through college, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I mean, there's a million different paths it felt like, and I just got over this feeling. And so in my senior year, I needed an internship. Actually, my junior year, I needed an internship to graduate. So, I make a LinkedIn. I'm like, what the hell am I looking at with all this stuff? And I knew I was in business management. I went to the career fair at school. I'm like, I don't want to work in a bank in like a cubicle. I was like, this is so boring. Like, I don't want to do any of these things.
So
So
boring.
I remember very clearly, I was on the elliptical at the gym and I saw Danny's post. I was psycho behavior going on LinkedIn at the gym. And I was like, this sounds interesting because I love to write. I would love to write for, you know, B2B. This is so interesting. I've never heard of this before.
Mm.
So the story goes, I bothered him basically until I got the job. I told him, this is my job. Like, you're going to hire me, which is very uncharacteristic for me back then. Now, I've come out of my shell a little bit and embraced that side of me. And then the rest is history, Erin. I mean, it's looking back, it happened so organically, but you have to believe in fate a little bit because my biggest fear when I was graduating was I didn't want a job that was pointless, like working in a
Mm.
cubicle, corporate America, like not having an impact. I wanted to connect with people, and I don't know the universe, I don't know what you guys believe in, but it just led me straight to what I do now.
Well, and
It's crazy.
you did a lot in there. So you had tenacity.
Mhm.
You kept bugging, like you said, but that's the go-getterness, right?
Persistent.
Yeah,
You kept yourself open to possibilities. You weren't like,
Yeah.
nope, I'm doing this and just this. So
right.
you actually held all these things that we try and get college kids to understand, to keep themselves open, to say yes to things, to try new
Right.
things. You actually
Mhm.
embodied all that. So while the universe may have played a part, or God, or whoever,
Yeah.
you actually took the reins of that story and you said, I'm open to this. I'm going to go after it. I'm
Yeah.
excited. And you didn't back down. And like you said, Danny, this is my job, right? Like you prove me wrong. This is my job. And that is really accolades and speaks volumes to
Thank
Yes.
who
you.
you are.
Thank you. Thank you. And I just remember in, last February, I was getting ready to graduate and I thought I had to have it all figured out. The path
Mm.
was unclear, Danny and I were putting our heads together. We're like, how can we keep you? How, you just can't create a role out of thin air. I understand how business is. I mean, you can't just create a role for somebody, but in essence, we were able to just keep fighting for it. And we literally just pulled my seat up to the table. And I got to give the credit to the amazing energy of the women in restaurant leadership movement, the board, the every single person that has been involved in women in restaurant leadership, whether it's just through their support, online support, the event support, that justified me being here today. We said there we need to tap into this. So I have to give the credit to that as well.
I
Satine,
think that's awesome.
I have a very serious question.
Yeah.
What's the best swag you've seen?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I just started my swag
I
journey.
saw that on LinkedIn. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, she's getting, like, Danny level swag." So, it doesn't have to even be something you got. It could be something you've seen because you probably get to see more of it than the general population does. So, what's the best restaurant company swag you've seen?
I mean, I really like gag gifts, like novelty things. Danny just got Pizza Hut wine,
Yes.
and I was like, this
Does
is
it taste like
kinda crazy.
pizza?
I know, that's what it was meant to taste like marinara sauce. I saw it
Mm.
Oh, I'm
and
gonna
there's more like
vomit.
in
Are
there.
you
That's
getting drunk? Does it come
gross.
with, Tums? Does it come with Pepsi and cream?
Right, and I'm thinking, "This is absolutely effing insane. Can I be next? Can we put
Ugh.
oh." But I will say in terms of practicality, there we go. The Raising Cane's tote bag. I've
Oh.
taken it with me on every single weekend trip so far, and that thing is solid. If I could take it through the
Oh,
airport,
I
I
don't
would.
think I've seen it.
Shout out to
Raising
I had it
Cane's.
Kelly
close
over
to
at
death.
Raising
Got a
Cane's.
big canvas tote bag. It's perfect for like a little weekend trip.
Okay, I
So
want a tote
love
bag.
Yeah.
Raising Cane.
yeah,
Raising Cane. We would like to have 3 Raising Cane tote bags for the Bite
Amy,
Size and
hear
Bossy
this.
Also, if they
host.
could be embroidered with my name, that's fine as
Right.
well.
Well,
I
we'll
mean,
tag their team in this post, and I think I know some folks over there.
right, and
Yeah,
I
that's
think,
awesome.
their Letterman jacket, the Raising Cane's varsity jacket is badass.
I
I don't
feel like I
wear
can
those
get
types
cool
of
gifts.
jackets.
I would like what?
I
What?
know.
Yeah,
My
Aaron,
closet is
we're gonna get cool gifts. People are gonna start sending us stuff, right, audience?
right
I
I
Right?
want a
love
Letterman
gifts. Gifts
jacket.
are
I don't even
great.
know what that is, but I want one now.
manifesting it.
Yeah, manifesting.
I've
We're
been
putting it
so
in the universe.
excited. Let me tell you guys. My CEO sent me this. Speaking of gifts, my CEO sent me this advent calendar, and I received it like the day before Thanksgiving, and it's boozy chocolate. Okay, and so every piece of chocolate for every piece of the day is a type of booze. So there's been like an Aperol white chocolate, and there yesterday we had whiskey on the rocks, and it was caramel and dark chocolate, and I it is literally the highlight
She
of
hasn't shut up
my
about this advent calendar, and she didn't even know what an advent calendar really was. And then she gets one.
Tell us she has a CEO who's sending her presents. I want
Yeah, I
presents.
mean,
I know, isn't that so incredible? But
Gosh,
let me tell
that sounds
Boozy, I'm gonna call shout this out, but it's Chicks with Chocolate, and they have the Boozy Advent calendar,
amazing.
and
It's
it is an
women-owned.
amazing gift, amazing gift.
Amazing.
um, I think that's amazing. I kind of want one now because she's talked about it so much. But that's awesome. So Raising Cane's, we got Letterman jackets, we got boozy chocolate. Also learned about Chrissy that she's Aperol spritz during the day and
Mm.
then espresso martini at night. And I was like, that
Mm.
sounds like a t-shirt.
Oh, that does kind of sound like we could
Maybe
do a
one in the
There
front,
we
one
go.
in the back.
Bite-sized and bossy merch.
Oh,
Which we are
oh.
trying to figure out a way to do women in restaurant leadership merch, which
We should. We should
Yes,
absolutely have that.
we're trying.
yeah.
Well,
Think
maybe it should be an advent calendar by this
there we
Chicks with
go next year.
Chocolate
Hey, yes,
marketing
I like
thing,
that idea.
right?
Partnership.
So let's have some fun here.
Okay.
We always
Dude,
love
I've been
to
having fun this whole
do say it again.
I've been having fun this whole time,
Oh,
Chrissy. What do you
good.
mean?
Let's do a couple of fun rapid fire questions. And let's start with Aaron. Aaron, do you have a rapid fire fun question for Satine?
Uh, Person you're going to be on a desert island with.
Oh, rapid fire. I have to think about that. Probably my roommate. She's amazing.
What's her
Oh,
name?
Liz. We love you,
Liz.
Liz.
You're
Yep.
allowed to be on a desert island with Satine.
Yep. She's
that's awesome.
practical. I'm a little bit more, la da 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 da. She's more practical than I am. So,
If I am stealing something off of your bedside table, what am I going to grab?
ooh, this is kind of embarrassing. It's it's a Warmies. Okay, this is a very heavy, like weighted stuffed animal that I just bought, and it's a heating pad, and
Mm.
it also smells like lavender.
Where'd you get it?
I got it on warmies.com.
Oh,
Sponsor
love
me.
it.
So,
I
oh,
got
my
one
daughter asked for
from
that
my
for
friend.
Christmas, actually.
Yes, I've had like really bad. I've not been sleeping well lately. I don't know, anxiety, Christmas time. I don't know, but that lavender smell literally puts me out.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Magnesium too. Take
Magnesium
magnesium before bed.
B1. If you take
Yep.
B1, it settles your nervous system. And you take it right
Mm,
before bed.
that's a whole other topic. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
yes.
need that.
All right. When you travel for work, and we all know when we're at conferences, we put many, many miles on our feet and our backs. When you travel for work, what is something abnormal you do when you get back to room to help you relax and relieve a little bit of the pain for the day?
Chrissy, I mean, I have just started my traveling journey. So
Yeah.
it's been a rocky road. If any of you were at QSR Evolution, you might have seen me limping to my room barefoot. And
Yes.
because I wanted to be cute and wear heels. And then I realized the hard way that you can't be in heels for 13 hours
Mm-mm.
on your feet. So I would say I started bringing my home slippers with me
Hmm.
and my under eye masks. And I just love to veg out literally every single piece of junk food that I can find with the slippers and the eye masks. It just makes me feel like I'm at home. And
I
now I
love
can
that.
bring my warmies.
I love that. Erin, do you have one more for her?
All right. So weirdest hobby you have?
I have a lot. I would say I guess something that people like professionally might not know about me is I'm a huge gamer. So I end every night. That's part of
What
my
kind of games?
Skyrim. So it's like a medieval, just
Hmm.
sort of I like to walk around,
Is
you
this
know.
like Dungeons and Dragons? Like, what does this mean?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
it's Dungeons and Dragons inspired. Yeah. So it's just like you're this medieval superhero basically walking around, talking to people, doing quests. Like you can literally do anything. I just like to walk around the map, look at the sky, and then I mean, I'm just like the queen of weird hobbies. I have my horse obviously,
Obviously.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Um, we can keep going.
I mean, all right.
Oh,
So
that's
you could
amazing.
kick my ass.
Ride away on my horse and
Yeah,
then go play video game. Yeah.
that that checks. That all makes sense to me.
Right.
Uh, all right. So what is something that you're afraid of?
Ooh, something I'm afraid of. I mean, if we want to get like spiders, any kind of bug. We just moved into this apartment and I think we saw like one roach because we're in the woods. And between me and my roommate, it was like, what do we do? Okay, there's no man in this, like my dad. Like, we can't,
We don't
we
need
just,
no man, although
we
I'm not
don't.
going to touch a
We,
cockroach.
that's what we learned that day is we don't need a man. It's just me and my roommate screaming with like the heaviest shoe we can find.
That's fair.
But they're terrifying.
Well, it always makes me think like I don't like to slap them with a shoe because someone told me once like some rodents or insects,
Oh
if
my
you
God.
hit them, all the babies escape and run away. And so now I'm scared. And so
Yeah.
I just like, I have to move if I see one.
Yeah,
You
it's been
guys
a
could
journey.
you could never live in the South. Do you know how often we
Right.
kill but we call them palmetto bugs in South
Yes,
Carolina. So, but
that's what it was.
we kill them often and they're very large.
I
Oh,
know. I'll tell
well,
y'all, I was at the horse barn, and obviously there's a lot of critters that's at the horse barn.
Mhm.
I was sitting on the toilet. I'll never forget this, and this is probably where the fear comes from. I was going pee, and I felt this thing like touch my neck, like a fly or something. That's what I thought, right? And I went like this, and I hear something smack on the wall, and I'm like, what the hell? That wasn't a fly. And I look, and it was a huntsman spider about this big, jumped on my neck.
Oh
And
my god.
now, like,
no,
I would have freaked out.
no.
I'm just
I
like,
would
I
have
had
Yeah.
totally freaked
I would
out.
have been like, I'm sorry, I have to break up with my horse now.
yeah, I'm never
Uh,
Yes.
going back. I mean, it's
oh,
crazy.
and where do you live that we're in the middle of the woods?
I live in Tampa actually, so I drive about 30 minutes north to go out to the horse farm. So yeah,
So I was not going to guess Tampa, and here's why. Because
Mm-mm.
so far you've told us you're in the middle of the woods, these huge bugs, horse barn, and that you have a warm, fuzzy thing on your bedside table that's weighted and keeps you warm and stuff. And so I'm thinking like you live in Alaska, probably.
right,
So
right. I
that
am a
was not my
I'm a
guess.
Florida native. Florida native.
Yes.
Awesome.
I love Florida. I think I'll retire in Florida some
Oh,
days
that's
soon.
okay.
That's
Everyone
where
does.
everybody retires, Christy.
That's
All the
okay.
I
people.
know. I'm gonna join them. I'm gonna join them. I'm a boat girl. I like to ride a boat. I'm
You
gonna
can
go
eat
live in
dinner
Florida
at
where I can ride a boat.
4 o'clock. That's the time I eat dinner as well.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Already living
time
the
change.
retired life.
Yep, I've
Yes.
been going to bed at like 8 o'clock with this time change. I mean, as soon as the sun goes down, I'm like, "Whoop, close the laptop, put on the fuzzy socks. That's it. It's a
Get your
wrap.
warmie
Aw,
and
time
Get the
cuddle
changes are
warm.
up.
great unless you have children. It turns out they don't adhere to them.
You know what?
Uh,
I'm gonna enjoy it.
amazing. Well, Satine, this has been absolutely incredible having you
Yep.
on the podcast. If you could give some advice to your younger self, what advice would you give your much younger self?
I would say you have to stick up for yourself. Um, I've been getting better about this as I get older. I mean, you just start to give less of a shit as you get older.
Yep.
But I've learned that the hard way. You need to not let people walk all over you, even if they're close to you. And society tells you that, oh, that's my cat. Society tells you that you should feel a certain way about, let's say, family members or something like that. But you have to stick up for yourself at the end of the day. And a closed mouth doesn't get fed.
Oh, love it.
I love that. A closed mouth doesn't get fed.
Yeah.
That's
Learn that the
amazing.
hard way. So,
That is great advice to end on. Again, we are so happy to have you
guys,
on this podcast, Bite Size and Bossy. And
just
if you haven't checked out Women in Restaurant Leadership, everyone needs to check
yeah,
that out. You'll see Satyne there, but she's also all over LinkedIn and everywhere else. Or if you're in
Yep.
a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu class or happen to be in the woods of Tampa, that exists apparently, or in a horse barn, you may find
Yes.
her as well, or in the game that is inspired by Dungeons and Dragons. But with
And
that, thank you
one quick,
again.
hold on, just
Oh,
one
okay.
quick
Sorry.
thing. Satine, we like to play this little game every time we have
Oh,
an
yes.
episode. We like for our guest to now do a little popcorn to the next person they'd love to see on the Bite Size and Bossy podcast. Who do you nominate?
Ooh. Oh my goodness. I am going to nominate a good friend of mine, Jennifer Dodd.
Oh, awesome.
Awesome.
Okay.
I
That's
love her to
fantastic.
death.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Great.
Well,
We'll be in touch with Jennifer.
absolutely. Thank you again,
Awesome. Thank you
Satyne.
guys so much.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Podcast show empower dreams they fulfill. Bite size and bossy, making time stand still. Bite size and bossy, rising up the ranks, handing out encouragement, deposits in their banks. Inspiration coming at you like a river flowing. Women paving paths, look at them going.